Good morning. The Louisiana Committee on Parole is impaneled today, January 7th, 2025. The time is now 8:51. We're in headquarters in Baton Rouge. On the panel today, on my left is Ms. Stapleton. Sir, would you please state your name and your DOC number for the record?
Domingo Montreal Gales, 743-528.
Okay. Mr. Gale, you're before this panel today because of violation allegations. And what we're going to do is we're going to ask you some questions. And but before we even start, I want to make sure you have a parole violation revocation paper in front of you that you have your signature on.
Yes, ma'am, I have it.
Okay. So you were not eligible for appointed counsel, but you have retained Mr. Marcus Allen as the attorney. That's correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. Mr. Allen, at the appropriate time, we'll call on you, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Right. We also have in attendance India LeBlanc, your girlfriend, and Nicole Gale, your mother. I'm going to read out the allegations against you, and I would like for you to enter a plea of guilty, not guilty, or guilty with a statement. And you don't need to provide your statement until after, okay? You are accused of violation number 2, in which you failed to report for the following months: November and December 2023, January through September of 2024. How do you plead?
Not guilty.
I have 2 parts on number 4. The first one, on or about 10/16/2023, you engaged in criminal conduct by committing the offense of home invasion. How do you plead on that one?
Not guilty.
On the second part of that, well, I will note that on 9/25/2024, the charge was refused. On 9/11/2024, you engaged in criminal conduct by committing the offense of domestic abuse battery. How do you plead on that?
Not guilty.
Noting for the record that charge was also refused 10/16/2024. You have failed to maintain monetary obligation and currently are arrears of $882 in supervision fees. That's violation number 10. How do you plead on that?
Not guilty.
At this time, we are going to allow Mr. Allen. How would you like to handle? Would you like to speak, or would you allow Ms. LeBlanc and Ms. Gale to go first?
Your Honor, I would like to, one, I think that a couple of those answers that he gave, he may have meant to do not guilty with a statement.
Okay.
Because some of fees are objective. It's either paid or not paid. And I think appearance is another objective, but there are some rational reasons that needs to be stated. With that being said, I just wanted to enter those on Domingo's behalf so that they can be spoken to. I will go ahead and submit to his mother and the alleged victim, Miss India, to go prior to.
Which ones should be with statement? 2, 4A, 4B, or 10?
The one that he did not appear before his probation officer, not guilty with a statement. There were some circumstances that caused that.
Okay.
And that last one about the fees, unless those fees have been paid recently, that's an objective finding. I think there's a not guilty with a statement on that one as well.
Okay, then I will go ahead and allow Ms. Gale, the offender's mother, to speak.
Can we do Miss India, since the charges that were alleged, although they were refused, she was the alleged victim in those charges?
We'll let her speak next. Ms. Gale, go ahead. They'll both speak.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, how are you? Yes, ma'am. I'm Domingo Gale's mother. And I'm just on his behalf that I just want to let everybody know my son is not a bad person. He has a good heart. He does wonderful for his kids. You know, he just had a lot going on. He's been through so much in the past. He got hit by a car. He had a lot of ill going on with him, you know. So that's why he didn't pay some of the things he couldn't work. He got hit by a car. He had 4 surgeries. He had, well, 5. And, it allowed him to push him back a little bit. But it's not that he didn't want to pay. Later on, he started off as a greeter to Walmart until he worked his way up. But he was trying. He wanted to do right. He started school for air conditioning and refrigeration. Just doing well for himself, just doing good. He never got in trouble or anything. He was just trying to stay on the right path, and then this came about, which didn't happen. I'm just a mother that, that if it happened, it happened, but it didn't happen. And, I just want my son to come home,
I understand.
just
Thank you very much for being here and making those statements. It's always, mamas always stand behind their children.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, at this time, we'll allow Miss India LeBlanc to make a statement.
My name is India LeBlanc, and I am Domingo Gale's mother of his children. And also at the time, like I said, we were around each other, but we haven't been around each other in a year. We do have a background of back and forth, little minor calls to the police and stuff. So the day that this happened, we were actually coming inside from the hurricane. Domingo had went to work that day or whatnot. I had cooked food. The children were home. He was coming over to help me with the children, and we had just moved, so we still had things to do. And we walked outside because my oldest son still had football practice, and my youngest daughter still had cheerleading practice, and we was going to take them to practice. My friend was taking us, and amongst going outside, they had 2 sheriffs arrive, and the sheriffs just got out on us, and they started saying how basically they had got a call from us, and I'm like, no, sir, you never got a call from us. And they like, well, is anything wrong with you? Is anything wrong with your body? And I'm like, nothing's wrong with me. I'm just taking my children to school. They was like, step away from the vehicle. And they made me back up, but I didn't know what was going on, but they asked for Domingo. So I thought they just knew him, or they didn't say his name, but they asked, where is he? They said, where is he? And then when they said, where is he? I'm like, who? And I'm thinking just, they talk about him. So I was like, he's in the house, but they started to walk towards my house or whatnot. But amongst being arrested and released, the address said 300 Fox Run. My address is 400 Fox Run. I do have my lease with me if anybody needs to be emailed my lease or anything. But we were both arrested, but I felt like I was also arrested because I said he didn't hit me. It's like I was being forced to say he hit me. But really, they run in his background, and the officer that arrested him said he was being arrested for a warrant for home invasion prior a year ago, which was also with me that I wrote an affidavit on a year ago because a cop made a statement saying Domingo broke in my house. Domingo never broke in my house. I had also that from my real estate agent. I have a police report that said I told them the kids were playing outside and a ball had came through the window or something, and we had to fix the window. So Domingo wasn't even present at that time or whatnot. And then so amongst that, they was taking him to jail, they claimed, because of that. But the officer that was arresting me was trying to make it seem like they were arresting me because I didn't want to write down that he hit me. But we were in a domestic. They had a call on a domestic, but we had never called the police. Mind you, we had just cooked, we were taking the children inside. I just had moved in this apartment, maybe not even 2 days. So I don't know. I just felt like we were kind of being stereotyped at the time. I mean, he works, he take care of his kids. We never been having issues at all. He stays out of trouble for the most part. He's a really good guy. I mean, and it's crazy that we're being always stereotyped or, contradicted based off of our arrest record or just prior things. And domestic is something big. Also, the officer was contacting me personally after I got released from jail, trying to meet with me, saying he liked me. I'm not sure. So I feel like that's conflict of interest, because did you arrest my kid's dad because of that? Like I had to block the number. And I also have messages of that as well.
Okay. Mr. Allen, if you would like to make a statement now, would be the appropriate time.
Yes, ma'am. First, addressing India LeBlanc. As I said in our probable cause hearing, I think that Ms. LeBlanc gives the statement, and I think that based upon her statements then, as well as what she said today, you see why the charges have been dismissed. All inappropriate activity by the officer. She tells you as a victim that she wasn't a victim, that she felt that they were purely looking to arrest Mr. Domingo Gale. And so with all this being before the district attorney's office, those charges were refused. Those charges were refused because you have a crime where a victim is saying there was no crime. So I think that the evidence and her words here today before this board, as well as any prior board, should speak for itself. As regards to the things, so let's deal with the objective finding. Mr. Gale didn't report. As you heard from his mother, Mr. Gale, soon after he got out, he hit the ground running. He got a job. He progressed in that job. He went to continue his education. And as he was continuing doing those things, he was also taking care of the obligations of trying to be a father raising those kids. Unfortunately, Mr. Gale got into a vehicle crash, not a soft tissue crash. He had 4 surgeries. So this placed him in a position where he was not able to make money. He was not able to meet those obligations that were necessary by the parole board at that time, or his parole officer at that time. I think that if we speak to his officer would tell him that, would tell this board that he had knowledge, because he did go to see Domingo. He did verify that Domingo had suffered some serious injuries that would require orthopedic therapy, and that Mr. Domingo was not working. I think that that ties into the other issue, is that because he was not working and because he was incapacitated in terms of his physical condition, he could not go and meet with his parole officer or probation officer. With that being said, when he was able to, I think that he was nervous and scared based upon what he spoke upon at the hearing. He was nervous and scared based upon the old theories of probation and plus what's out there in the streets, that once you go there, they're going to arrest you. And I think in his mindset, he did not want to be held. He did not want to be arrested. So with that particular circumstance and his perception of it, and let me do say this, that the parole officer or probation officer at the probable cause hearing, she did state, hey, probation and parole is new now. We have a new mindset now. And I just told her that probably needs to get more marketed and put out there, because a lot of people are just afraid that they can go in there to try to make things right and end up being incarcerated. Mr. Gale is a first-time offender in anything that he has done. He doesn't have a history of crime and violence. Mr. Gale is a young man that got knocked off track, one due to not his own situation. So he has a record that caused the police, when they came, to point him out and look for him. So I would ask that this board consider his history. I would ask that this board consider the alleged victim's comments. I would like this board to consider his mother's comments, and hopefully give Mr. Domingo an opportunity to continue on the path at an early age to get his life on the right track. This has been devastating for him. He's been in jail for quite some time. So I would ask that this board consider all the surrounding circumstances in rendering its decision. Thank you.
Yeah. So, Mr. Gale, why don't you speak for yourself at this point now? Tell me your side of the story.
Me and my kid's mother, we haven't talked for a little while, but we agreed to co-parent because we knew that it was hurting the children. My kids love me and I love them with all my heart. It hurts my heart to stay away from them. That day I was at work. It was the week of the hurricane. So she asked me to come over to help out, bring groceries and stuff like that. I brought groceries. I had just helped her with the money to move in her new apartment. We was talking about some things, we never hit each other. We never had physical altercations like that. We never had those type of problems before, and I don't know why they said we have a history of that, because we really don't. Arguments, no relationship is perfect. But for the most part, I love my kid's mother. I just want the best for her. I mean, she explained everything to the T. I wasn't running from anything when the cops knocked on the door. I opened the door for them. They said in the report, as I can remember, that I had scratches on my wrists and blood on my pants. I didn't. I felt like if I did, they would have taken pictures of it. I told them she never hit me. I never hit her. The home invasion, I wasn't nowhere near my kid's mom's house that day. I had a plate in my arm. I had staples in my neck, my chest. I couldn't even commit that type of crime. I wasn't in the condition to. And I wouldn't, even if I was in the condition to, I wouldn't put my kids or their mama in that type of danger. It's just, it's unfortunate, you know. I'm a good person. I would never harm anybody. I don't have a criminal history of harming people. I can't even tell you the last time I got in a fight.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna tell you that the police reports and y'all's rendition is very different. But I'm gonna ask Ms. Stapleton to go ahead and ask some questions at this time.
Hey, Mr. Gill, just heard the police reports and what you're saying are very different. I showed that on July of 2021, you were arrested for domestic abuse battery with child endangerment. And on December the 6th of 2022, same thing, domestic abuse battery with child endangerment. Also, you were on a parole violation for marijuana at that same time. You're looking like you don't know what I'm talking about.
No matter.
So, okay. But that's what's on here. And then also there seems to be mutual aggression because your partner, India, she has been arrested numerous times also with aggravated assault and one with aggravated assault with a firearm, battery of a dating partner. Those are all very dangerous things because a lot of them are with child endangerment. Children are present. Who called the police on y'all this time that you say? I mean, somebody called. Y'all know?
No, ma'am, I never called the police. I don't know about my initial charge that I served time for and that I'm on parole for is for possession of marijuana. I don't have a marijuana. I never got caught with marijuana again after that.
Okay, so, but it does show that you've been arrested before for domestic violence. Both of y'all. So anyway, your attorney was talking about that probation and parole are seeing things different, and this is what I want to read that they say. Due to the findings at the preliminary hearing and the public safety of the children who were present during the incident on 9/11/2024, the Lafayette District recommends revocation. It would also be a good thing if you would attend a domestic violence program. I can't make India do that. She's not the person that we're talking about today. She's not on parole or probation. So that's for you. And that is for me, a main interest is the children. Also, I wanted to ask something. It said here that the Faith House helped to get the apartment that she's in. And you both show that as your current address, although it does say the 300 instead of the 400, like she was saying. But anyway, the current address that y'all are living together. A lot of times if a domestic violence shelter helps a woman get relocated, it usually the partner and the husband is not supposed to be living with them. Is that okay with the Faith House?
She's never been a member of the Faith House, and she could confirm that. I don't know where that comes from, ma'am. She's never been a member of the Faith House.
No, that they helped her get her apartment.
No, they did not.
I helped her get her apartment, ma'am.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't have anything to do with it?
No, ma'am.
I haven't been to the Faith House. This apartment is in my name. I've paid my full rent. He helped me. He the only person helped me with my kids. And the days that we got arrested, 3 police came for 300 Fox Run. They came whenever he was incarcerated. They knocked on my door again. I had just got released. It was like 9/17. They knocked on my door hard and was saying they had another call for domestic again. They made a mistake mistake. Again, I recorded it. I could email it to anyone, to his lawyer, to send to you. They made a mistake twice. I walked to them at the corner and I said, will this be a continuous problem? Because my kid's dad is sitting in jail right now for something they say we had domestic, just because we have a background. And you're saying I have aggravated assault, that all has been dismissed. Again, we're being stereotyped continuously. And it's crazy at this point because,
Well,
of course, my children will be present.
Where I'm reading this from is the narrative in the police report. During the course of this investigation, it was learned that India is living at the address after receiving assistance from the Faith House. According to India, the Faith House helped her get the apartment after being involved in a domestic altercation with Domingo. However, Domingo now lives with India in the apartment. So that's from the police report. Anyway, so that's basically my concerns. The presence of the children during these domestic violence assaults. Okay, that's all I have to say.
Can I speak at this time?
Mr. Allen, I will allow you to speak, yes.
Thank you. Thank you. As a representative of Mr. Domingo, I'm hearing that you are basing and giving a lot of weight to a police narrative. Now, from an attorney standpoint, police narratives are hearsay, and they are reviewed by the district attorney's office. Those narratives that you are reading and giving great weight to have been reviewed prior to ever getting to this stage, and they were denied. And that means that they feel that they cannot reach the burden of proof, which is beyond a reasonable doubt. Right now, you're using those narratives and you're giving weight to them. From what I'm hearing, that this is leaning towards a revocation, whether that revocation came from the probation and parole at the hearing or whatever, because I didn't get those documents until this morning. 45 pages of documents I got this morning. However, I was there. Now, I do know that if this person was convicted, if Domingo was convicted and had his right to due process, then that would be a different finding. Because that at that point, the police would have been under question, witnesses would have been under questioning and everything. But here we have the actual victim here who is putting on statements and saying, hey, this stuff in this narrative is not true. So it's almost what I'm seeing here is that they could not convict him in a court of law under due process, which is why they did not bring it. But it seems to me right now, this is getting ready to be used against him as though those statements are accurate and true. And I just have a problem with that, because if that's the case, then we could have went to court, found him not guilty, and then hopefully it would have been a different outcome. But the district attorney themselves says there's no sense in taking this to court because we can't reach the burden of proof of beyond a reasonable doubt. So none of those charges are being lodged against him, except for right now. It seems that you're going to use the narrative to bring those charges against him. And I think that that is legally and patently unfair to Domingo, because he was not given an opportunity for a due process hearing because they denied it. So that's my comment. Purely from a lawyer's perspective, I think that I have a right to bring that forward to him. So that's all I did, ma'am. Thank you very much.
It is well within your right. At this time, Mr. Prater, do you have any questions?
No, ma'am, I don't have any questions, but I do want to make one thing clear, because of the fact that there's so many people that listen to these and they don't always have the backstory. And the backstory is Mr. Domingo is not in jail, and we're not here because of a simple possession of marijuana charge. I just want to make sure that you understand he was convicted of possession with intent to distribute and given 10 years. And the only reason I mention that is because there's so many people that have the false narrative that our prisons are full of people that are charged with simple marijuana, and that is simply not the case. So it's nothing about Mr. Domingo. That case is in the past, and that's been dealt with. He's been sentenced, and he's gotten out on parole, and all is fine. And I don't want him. There's nothing against Mr. Domingo, but I just want to make sure that the persons listening to this understand the full charge that he was convicted of. And I don't have any questions about the case. Thank you.
It would be important to note, and Mr. Allen, you were within your right to bring that up. However, when someone is on supervision, they have a contract, and the standard of proof is not that of a court of law because they have violations, and we have preponderance of evidence that we use. So I just want to make sure that that you understand, we have police reports which we use as evidence. Okay, in this police report, Miss India on the home invasion stated, now see, anybody can recant, and they do 90% of the time, but she stated to the police in the report that it was Mr. Domingo who became enraged and forced his way into the apartment, breaking the bottom frame of the front window. So we have her statement that this is what happened. At this point, is the panel prepared to vote?
Yes, I am.
So, Ms. Stapleton?
Okay, I'm going to revoke you based upon the domestic violence battery charge. And also, you do have a high tiger risk score, which is something that is considered.
Mr. Prater?
I'm going to concur because it doesn't make any difference because it has to be unanimous.
Oh, it does.
Oh, it does not have to be unanimous? Okay, I'm misunderstanding. I've got that confused with parole. I'm sorry. Well, that being the case, I think the high tiger score bothers me. Otherwise, I would say that I would vote not to revoke, but because of the tiger score and nothing else, and counting on somebody else's, besides anybody on this board or any testimony, somebody else's opinion of reoffending, I'm going to vote to revoke.
My vote is to not revoke, to mandate domestic abuse violence classes. However, today your parole has been revoked. And the location will be getting a notice. We are at the Lafayette Parish Correction Center today at this hearing.